What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the second part of Maketoys' Guardia. This is Rover, otherwise you may know him as Streetwise, and yeah, he's a pretty decent looking Streetwise, I would say. He is a little different than the Nissan Z police car that we had, but I think that is an okay reimagining for this guy. Now, things that I find strange about this guy is he's got a lot of asymmetry going on, which throws me off a little bit. I don't like the head antenna on one side and not the other. Wish there was another option. And then, like, this waist piece is weird. Like, it looks like a different crotch on this side than it is on this side, so it's a little weird. And that's pretty much all the asymmetry I can see. Everything else looks the same, but it is something that bothers me a little, but not enough that I don't like this guy. As you can see, he's got a lot of ball joints for articulation. He does have a swivel at the shoulder, the ball jointed arm here for plenty of range of motion, much better than some of the cars that have come before him, TFC. You have a ball jointed head up here, that's pretty nice. You do have the waist rotation, ball jointed legs, which are very stiff on mine, coming down to a ratcheted knee like this. And then you saw me in the beginning kind of messing with this. It's a swivel piece here with a ball jointed bottom foot piece, so there's plenty of motion to be had out of there, and you can kind of make them taller or shorter depending on how you have it, but I do think it looks pretty silly like that. So my preferred way is to try to, you know, just have the foot sticking out just enough. I will say that these swivels on the feet down here are real stiff to the point that they're kind of hard to use. I think we didn't get to the full arm up here. Thigh swivel too, if I didn't say it. You do have the like bicep swivel there, a double jointed elbow, but it is hindered by the wheel here, and then the rotation on the hand. Overall, looks pretty good, moves pretty good. I like this guy a lot. Now, he, unlike Axel, does come with the double gun, so he can dual wield if you want him to. It's really up to you. Personally, I think he looks much better with the completed gun because I don't care for the hollow bits on the gun. So that's all I do. He just holds one peg here, and he just looks good doing it. So let's bring out Axel here real quick. The scaling between these two, if you want your protective bots to be the same size, I think that looks great. I can't say that I think it looks great next to the MP molds. Again, I do think that groove should be smaller than the cars, and that looks good, but this doesn't look as good to me, and it just kind of gets more ridiculous as we throw in the bigger MPs, personally. So once again, we'll bring out the TFC, whatever their medic or whatever they decided to name their first aid here, and you can see he is a little bit bigger, but it's not ridiculously bigger. So it'll be interesting to get the combined mode side by side, seeing how really close in scale these guys all end up being. So getting Rover into his vehicle mode, we're going to take these guns, we'll get them out of the way, and we'll come to one of my favorite parts, well, soon. We'll take these doors and just kind of get them out of the way. And now we'll come to my favorite part. We'll take these and we'll slide this joint forward, like so. And then you'll be able to flip the toe all the way around. And then you want to plug it right back into place, right there. I think that's like one of the coolest little transformation gimmicks that they've come up with at this point. So once again, slide it out, rotate it around, get this piece into place, and slide it back together. And you can see that there's tabs on the side here, so we are pretty much securing everything as we get it in the right position. Just like so. And then take these, and we can go ahead and tab this all together here. Now before we forget, we want to take his body, rotate it around this way, and we'll just leave that like this. We'll take his head, we'll also rotate that to the back. Take this piece, kind of lift it up, and move it around and out of the way, and it helps to expose this little gray piece. Now mine, I did need to take his body apart on these four things and actually give it a little lubrication to the slide, because it would only get stuck right about there, and you need that head to be all the way down in there. So if you are having trouble, take these off and put a little lubrication in the slide there, and it'll probably solve your problem. So now that we got that, holding his feet together, bring these around to make sure the doors are out of the way. And he's got these little gray tabs on the side of his waist here. We may end up actually disconnecting the front of the car in the process, but you kind of have to stress the plastic over that front hump like that if you want it to end up in the right position. And it should click into place like that to let you know you've got it in the right location. In the process, we kind of messed this up. We should have had this piece up here to encapsulate the feet, but no harm, no foul. We got it there. And we can close the front of the car there. Make sure you leave these down. We can just kind of fold them in like this just so they're out of the way. And this is probably the hardest part of this whole transformation. So we're going to take this and we're going to unpeg it from here and fold it all the way back around and slide his hand down like this. So take this, put it around and slide his hand like this. Now you want to, if you look in there, you can see he's got this channel here. We want to get the car oriented right and his hand oriented right. We want to slide the front piece of the car over his hand, or up to the other slot there. So it's going to look kind of like this. And then this is where things get a little complicated. So we're just going to leave it like that for now, and let's do the other side real fast just to make sure we have this all lined up. There we go. And you can see it's pretty much designed that it's gonna plug into there, but it always feels like you can't get it to work quite right. And the hands also have to be facing in here because they're gonna go into the back of the car. So now I don't really know what to tell you to make this work. It really comes down to this elbow joint moving into position right. So you just kind of want to take your hand on the side of the car and just keep like applying pressure here and here on here until it kind of pops down and in position. And once you got that, you can now push the black piece of the car and it all just kind of fold right on in there. So let's try again. We're going to hold it to the right. See how we got that in position here? Now we'll push the black part of the car, and that's manipulated the elbow with putting force on different parts of the car here, and then just kind of plug all this stuff on in. And you can see we're pretty well done. All we're going to do is bring this around and up. Make sure you get that little tab in here, and then you have that hole there that this tabs into. Just get it in place there, and we'll do it again for this side. Bring it up. Make sure the tab is in there, and then peg it on in. And there we go, we've got Rover in his car mode. So here we've got Rover in his vehicle mode. You can see that he is a Carbon Motors E7. It's a concept police car, and I think it looks pretty cool. I think the sheriff stuff, I mean, it's a little bit hokey, but I'm pretty sure that the concept car actually just said sheriff and stuff like that too. I know Repro Labels does make some labels to make these like a metallic look and add some of this stuff here, and I may or may not get them. Overall, I do really like the look of this car. I'd have to look at the real picture to see if these should have been red too. I feel like it doesn't have much tail lights going on to the point that it almost looks like this is the front of the car if you didn't see this first. I know, but overall I think it looks good. He does roll pretty well. He could roll a little bit better, but it's not terrible. As far as masterpiece scaling here, here's the MP wheel jack mold, the Lancia, and you can see it's nowhere close. It's definitely not going to work for a masterpiece shelf where the cars are concerned. And even though we know it's pointless, there he is next to the Maketoys gun dog. Of course, if you have his guns, once again, you want the storage of all the guns. That is something you can do, but in this case you do have to turn it upside down here and get it pegged into it's just fighting me on this side. So if you want to store the guns in his alt mode, of course it's just the same as it was previously with Axel. You're kind of taking the piece and there's a little slot here and you just take the tab, and this one side always seems to fight me. I don't know if I can get it in here. Because of the way this thing flexes, you can see that, it's hard to get it to tab in there. Yeah, the one side works really well for me. The other side, the tolerance is off or something like that. I'm not going to bother forcing it in there. I hate the gun modes and the car mode. I guess worst case scenario, I can just peg these together and that'll work just fine should I ever want to put it that way. But chances are that's never going to happen. I would just much prefer to have them like this. So let's get this guy to his robot mode. We'll start by carefully unpegging the doors and bringing them down like this, just like so. We'll come around to the other side here, unpeg the arms, which should rotate outwards like this, and we can also unpeg the back part of the car here, and you can see as I kind of did that, the elbow basically pulled itself out there, like so. It's a weird system, as you saw transforming it the other way. So anyway, we'll take this and we'll pull it forward on this joint to lock it into place, just like so. We can take this piece here now and just kind of bring it around. Alright, sorry about that, the battery was running low. So as we had that point brought up, you want to slide the joint up like this and just kind of plug that in just like that to make the one arm here. We can take this and kind of spin this around and out of the way. So we'll do that again for the other side. Bring that up. Make sure that we slide the joint up here and bring this panel around and plug it in. There we go. We got the two arms out of the way. And we should probably have them facing the right way. There we go. Just like that. So now it's on to the feet portions. So we'll start by splitting the knees and kind of take all this stuff and unplug it from the gray bits on the side of his hips here. These front pieces of the car can come down as we extend this, and we can go ahead and separate everything now. Take the foot here, slide it out like so. Rotate this thing down on that joint and then slide it back forward so it locks itself in place. So we'll do that for the other side. Slide it down, rotate it through, and lock it back into place. Just like so. The back of the police car can come up to kind of fill in the shin gaps here. It doesn't really plug in anyway that I see. It just kind of sits there, but I mean, it works. It's not going to flop out of the way or anything. Let's bring this on up. We'll bring the torso around to the other side. Take this piece here and lift it all the way up, and then this is where it gets at least a little bit difficult. You kind of have to bring it around here so it locks into place of his chest piece here, and we can rotate his head on around. It's not really difficult, I guess. It's just, you know, it is a odd thing because you think you can slide it the one way and you can't. But there you go. There is our Streetwise slash Rover in his robot mode again. And I really like this guy. Yeah, he was a little frustrating at first to get these arms going, but overall, I mean, he's a lot of fun. I'm not sure why he only has the one antenna crest here. Someone said it's just like a single antenna, but I kind of wish for symmetry he had the second one, or at least maybe Maketoys would have given us the option to have the second one in there. I'm not sure if it's the front of the head or the back of the head that would just need an extra cast, but it'd be real nice if they gave us that option, because the symmetry thing here just really bothers me. But anyway, he is a good figure. I won't dwell on the head crest thing too much. I think if you liked Axel here, you should definitely check him out, because yeah, it's a good set so far. And I'm real excited that I got the other two already here, and we'll look at them next week, or at least one of them. So this is T2RX6. I'll see you next time.